Welcome everyone to another interview for the Beacon World League as we get ready to head into week 3 of season 2. I am delighted to be joined by Stufts, who is currently sitting second overall here in season 2. Stufts, pro player for Wild, winner of Comic-Con Baltics 2024. Delighted to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, and looking forward to diving into these topics with you. I mean, the first question we kind of have to ask is, Season 2, you didn't play in Season 1, you came through the open seeding then for Season 2. What was the motivation to join for this season?
I think the main reason is Reverse Cup mode. I think this is the real first time I've kind of played it outside of one event. And I really liked watching it for Beacon Season 1. And I was also, at the time for Beacon, I was planning to play it, but I got pretty sick at the time. So I really wanted to kind of invest myself into this season and, yeah, give it my all.
Yeah, I mean, hey, so far, going pretty well. Obviously, that started all the way back with the seeding performance. You were one of 6 players to qualify directly into Division 1. You also played seeding earlier than most of the other players who qualified into Division 1. In fact, I think you were the only player to play the earlier seeding session. How did you kind of feel in that? I think we were talking about on the broadcast at the time that it looked like you were struggling to kind of benchmark yourself against anyone else.
Yeah, my original plan was to play Thursday because I was not available on the Saturday, but then I actually got sick just before the seeding. So I ended up having to play the seeding really kind of, I don't know, not feeling well. So I was actually pretty scared when Saturday rolled around and people like Josh and Granati were putting in pretty solid times compared to me. But I think I played just good enough to make it. So I think it was a good relief for me to make Div 1 in that way.
Seeding wrapped up then. You were one of the players to make it in, and I think we all had high expectations for you coming into the season then. Obviously, you've been performing very well in almost every competition you've entered over the last year or so. How do you feel your performance has matched up to those expectations so far in the first 3 matches that you've played?
I think week 1 went really well. I played up to my own expectations, and I think everyone else playing a perfect match 1, I would say. Week 2 was, for my own expectations, a bit less than what I wanted. I think overall, looking back at it, I still played really good. Double last chance with Epos, kind of trolled the last round, but it happens. And then winning my match against the Boss Bez, who's no easy opponent. So I think up until this point, I've played pretty good, and I'm gonna keep the momentum up into week 3.
Delighted to hear it. Speaking then of Epos, both of you have kind of come up together with Trackmania 2020, and there's another player I do want to mention here, but I think Epos may be the most relevant at the moment, given that he's winning the entire league. You've kind of got a little bit of a rivalry forming there, it feels like.
Yeah, I think with Epos, I would say since the monthly cups, we have gotten top 4s after top 4s with each other, and it feels, I would say, he's not like a direct opponent, but it's really fun to play with him, and especially at Comic-Con Baltics with Alan, it's really fun to compete against him, and I kind of see him as my equal in that way. And we kind of always get the same results. We have the same play style. We always like the same maps. So I think it's very fun to compete against him in that way.
With that in mind, did the loss against Epos, as you said, in the final round, sting a little bit more than it might have against another player?
I think so. I think it's just because we're such fierce opponents against each other. We always want to better each other, even when it comes to PBs on maps or just in general. So I think it did kind of sting that I lost against Epos, especially since I was, backing myself to win. But he played insane, especially in the match after. So I am still happy that I played good, and yeah, that's really it. Can't do much more than that.
Completely fair. Obviously, then it'd be lovely to, get the rematch against Epos in the playoffs, maybe beat him there. But are there any other players in the Beacon World League at the moment who you would also kind of look at and say, I'd love to do better than them? Because there's a lot of very good players playing at the moment.
I think, well, the only, I would say, really good opponents I haven't played against are the players from Big, being Granati Massa. Both in week 3 for me, match 4 and 5, which is pretty funny. So I'm really looking forward to playing them, especially since I've had pretty good results against them in the World Tour Cups, I would say. So I'm really looking forward to see what will happen in a different format.
As you've mentioned, Stufts, couple of difficult matches coming up then this weekend. You obviously have Grenady and Massa back to back, but you do also in that first match have Josh, as well as it is Richie also joining that match, veteran of the Beacon World League at this point, having played in Season 1 as well. And then your second match is Akros and Tween alongside Massa. Is the expectation just to win both those matches? Is that how you're feeling this week?
I would say I'm very confident to win both. I think the Grenady Josh Ritchie match is very dependent on pick and ban for me, because as we know, the Intex map is not really it doesn't really favor me, and I have noticed that Grenady and Josh really like the map. I haven't really looked too much into what Ritchie likes, but I'm just gonna hope I get to ban away that map and just not touch it that much, and I think I will be more than fine. And for Tween Massa, I think it will come down to who really plays the best. I think we are very pace abusey, also really good on tech maps, all three I would say. So I would say it comes down to who has the best match and who trained the most, but I'm feeling really confident with what I've done so far this week.
And I do hate to bring it up then, Stufts, but rumor has it that, I mean, you will have probably pick ban first going into the match this weekend against Josh, that you may have promised a gentleman's agreement that if you can get a 0.9 on Heartleap, that you will not ban Maharaga away from him.
I have promised that. It was kind of a meme because, to be honest, it's a really difficult time to do. So if Josh would get the 0.9 on Heartleap, I would give leave Maharaga open and see whatever happens, but I don't think he will do it.
Well, I guess we'll wait and see. I'm sure that'll be happening at some point this weekend, so something to keep an eye on. Stufts, then you've said you're kind of expecting maybe to win these final two matches. I think that would leave you in a pretty clear second place after the loss to Epos, unfortunately, in league play. But obviously, come playoffs, that would leave you in the upper bracket still. It'd put you in a very good position to get into a grand finals. Is the goal to go all the way? Do you think you can beat Epos in a rematch, or are you even worried about some of the other players sneaking up on you in playoffs?
I think with what I've been doing so far, I think I will make the grand finals. Whoever comes, I would say Epos, obviously, fan favorite. I think he's destined to at least get top 2 in the tournament, to be honest. Whoever else makes it into grand finals, it's honestly really close. I think a Josh, a Grenady, a Tween, a Massa, they could all compete for it, but I will be aiming for that top 4, and I think I can definitely make it happen at least. And whatever else happens, maybe beating Epos or something else, that's for that weekend.
I think that about brings us to the end of our interview. Stufts, thank you very much for joining us here today. Is there anything final that you'd like to say to the Beacon World League viewers before we let you go?
I would say thank you all for supporting the Beacon World League. I think having to rewatch all the matches and just how much support there is really amazing, and also the production is really, really good. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to the final matches and especially the playoffs, how everything will happen.
Yeah. Well, Stufts, best of luck in your matches this weekend. We look forward to watching them. I know we'll be streaming at least one of them. And, well, again, best of luck. See you there. And thank you, everyone, for watching.